Greetings, YouTube. Recently, I saw an art project that someone had done. They had taken two conventional claw hammers and made a set of nunchucks out of them. And they actually used true nunchuck swivels and everything, and it was kind of humorous, and it was utterly and absolutely unusable, of course. But I've never been a huge fan of claw hammers. I mean, I own one, it's sitting right in front of me. But I'm not a big fan of them. Normally, if I'm going to be removing nails, I'll use a pry bar, or I have a large pry bar, I have smaller pry bars, then I'll use with another hammer. And my favorite hammer is this hammer here, which is a 14-ounce ball peen. And it's not just that I like 14-ounce ball peens in general, but this particular hammer is my favorite hammer in the world, and the hammer I turn to for almost everything I need to do. If I need something with a little more oomph, I'll turn to my 48-inch engineering hammer. In between the two of these, I can pretty much fix anything I need to fix, or break it real good and buy a new one. But I do own chucks. In fact, I own a set of wooden chucks with ropes. You can see the ropes are tied through the ropes tied through there. And I own a set of actual hardwood chucks with true chain and swivel here. And I don't have access to these myself at the moment, but I've decided that I'm going to take the idea that the artist had come up with, which was using claw hammers, and I am going to use ball peen hammers because I prefer ball peen hammers. So I went out and bought a couple of ball peen hammers. These I purchased at Harbor Freight because that was the best price I could find in anywhere for ball peen hammers. I also bought that because it was just adorable. Maybe I'll find a use for it, but it really is cute. And I literally, I looked everywhere for these bloody things, and Home Depot is charging $15 a pop for ball peen hammer with wooden handles, whereas Harbor Freight is charging $4. I think I paid $3 for that. So yes, they're cheap Chinese tools, but since I'm doing an art project and I'm never actually going to hit anything with them, I don't care. So I'm going to drill holes in here, and I'm going to use these right here, these eyelets, and then I'm going to use these, which I can open up. This nut opens up, gives me a space. I can use that to attach the chain to the two eyelets. I have a slightly longer piece of chain, but you know, chucks don't have any particular legal definition of how long the chain's supposed to be. And again, this is an art project. I'm never going to swing these things because that would be really dangerous. I won't even swing my other chucks because I have no training in them and I have no particular desire to be hurt. I actually own a pair of practice chucks somewhere. They're like pine with foam covering on them, and they also have wood, have rope. I don't know where they are. I had a hard time finding my hardwood chucks. They had gotten moved recently when we did some vacuuming. So my first task up is going to be to drill holes there. Alright, we are in my kitchen where I've set this up on my kitchen table because it's a convenient place to do it. Large, heavy object, and I can clamp things to it easily. In fact, speaking of clamps, you get to see my new clamp. I just purchased this clamp this week. Got this from Ocean State Job Lots, which is a place that deals in surplus materials and some Chinese brands. So I was able to pick this up for $8. I have a clamp very similar to this, which is an older model. Very old. It was my grandfather's. But it's developed a crack, and I don't want to destroy it. I would like to keep it around because it was my grandfather's. So I figured for $8, I like the design. I invested in a new one, and it's holding this quite firmly. So now I am going to drill a hole right in the middle of this handle, about, I don't know, inch deep. That should probably do it. About half the distance of the drill bit, I think. So that's my next step. Here we have the hole now drilled in the hammer, and here we have the first one that's already been installed. I installed it while it was in the rig setup, so it's a whole lot easier. Using a standard Phillips head screwdriver to turn the eye bolt with. A whole lot easier when I don't have to hold it and I'm flipping the mortar against. It'll give me a little resistance. Alright, so we are at the stage where I have installed both of the split rings. I actually had to bend these slightly open to get them to fit over this. They fit over the chain without a problem. But I didn't want to use a larger one because they're pretty close to the same length size as I have here. I wanted to kind of keep the proportions right. I would have had to go up a significantly larger size if I were going to go any far bigger than this. So, one more thing to do and they're done. Alright, there we have it. One set of my very own ball peen hammer chucks. And compared to my rather simple rope wood set, and then my set of full professional chucks with swivels. And no, I will never be swinging any of these in practice or in combat. It is simply an art project to kind of show the absurdity of what one can do with a few hand tools and a little time on one's hand. I, however, will not be charging $300 for a pair of these. Actually, I'm not going to make any more of them. They're really pointless, and they're incredibly simple to make. All you need to do is drill 2 holes and assemble if necessary. So, feel free to make your own, folks. Hey, maybe someone out there wants to make a set out of 48-ounce engineer hammers. Wouldn't that be fun? I don't want to be around if they get swung, though. So I hope you all enjoyed my trip down Absurdity Lane today. It was entertaining.